Andrew McCarthy, you prosecuted the Blind Sheikh. You are an author, a writer. You're on the front lines every day for us. And I have so many questions for you. I don't even know where to start.
Well, thank you for doing this, so I appreciate it.
I just watched you on this panel, and I mean, I've been following your work anyway, but man, one word, John Brennan.
No.
Or two words. Yeah.
Please no. Meaning please no, he would be, as I think I just said, the most monumental mismatch of man and mission in the history of nominees to important positions in the U.S. government, because he's a guy whose agenda has been to throw blinders on our intelligence community, and in a war against terrorists where intelligence is more important than anything else, the intelligence community has to be able to see our threats without, it has to be completely accurate about what they're seeing, so that they can make sure that our security policy steers in a way that will protect the country. So his agenda is completely antithetical to what the intelligence community needs to do, and we need the intelligence community to do it now more than we ever needed him.
So do you think he's naive, or is he diabolical?
You know, a long time ago, a really smart federal judge who later became Attorney General, Michael Mukasey, when I used to make arguments like that, he used to stop me in the middle and he'd say, you know, don't tell me he has a dirty mind. Tell me what he did. And there's a lot of wisdom in that. So I don't know Brennan. I don't want to, you know, presume to read his mind. All I can say is that he's either recklessly wrong or something more insidious is going on, but whatever it is, the policy that he wants to premise American national security on is so wayward that we can't protect the country based on it. So whether he's insidious or whether he's just naive or reckless or something in between is of less interest to me than what he wants to do to the country. And if he wants to train our agents that jihad is kind of like the internal struggle to make sure you brush after every meal rather than, you know, what we know it is after 20 years, we can't protect the country that way.
Doesn't it seem to you, this administration, that that's what they want? With Hagel and Susan Rice, and no one's allowed to question anybody. It's almost like this is what they want.
Well, let me suggest that there's two explanations, and one is good-natured, but I think wrong, and the other is a little bit more cynical. I think there are some people, and it's not just on the left. I think it's in the ruling class. It's bipartisan in the United States, who are of a mind that if you let these Islamists take over governments, that the responsibilities of governance, the need to produce for their, as they call them, the constituents, will moderate them, and that they will grow up in these positions, and the threat will sort of dissipate.
So we can tame them.
Right. Well, they can be tamed by the responsibilities of governance. And the reason I say, you know, constituents and kind of roll my eyes a little bit is, if we had studied their ideology all these years, we would know that they don't look at government as a representative exercise where you're a public official and you represent constituents. Their loyalty is to Sharia, and it's not to constituents. So as long as they're complying with Allah's law, they don't really have to care much about their constituents, because that's not where their responsibility is. So anyone thinks that representative government will moderate them doesn't understand where they're coming from in the first place. And that's why I think it's so bad that for 20 years we haven't studied their ideology. But that's the good-natured but wrong explanation. The other explanation, which is more cynical, is that if ideology is not what causes the threat to us, then the argument you can make is that whatever you happen to be against must be what causes the threat to us. So one week it's Muhammad cartoons, one week it's Guantanamo Bay, one week it's military commissions, who knows what it'll be next week. But it turns out that what causes terrorism happens to be whatever the left is against. It's a very good demagogic tool to have against the other side.
Where can everybody find you? They need to find you.
Well, thanks so much. I have a website. It's andrewcmccarthy.com, and I write at National Review Online and PJ Media.
Thank you so much.
Well, my pleasure.